Hello, this is Poor for Trump. This is a brother person, Richard Paul Hobbs at gmail.com. This is poorfortrump at gmail.com. This is made in St. Joseph's Nursing Home, where I'm sort of being held captive, sort of against my will, but not completely. But now we're taking the time to serve others. So potassium, this is about potassium. Now, many people think potassium is a good source of, that a banana is a good source of potassium. But a banana isn't a really good source of potassium. The reason is because a banana has some potassium in it, maybe about 300 units in this banana, but it has a lot of calories, and it's a seed, and so there could be an issue of phytic acid. It's a grain, like a banana is not actually a fruit, it's a seed, like wheat or corn or many other seeds. But and if you do want to get a banana for potassium and mineral supplements, you might want to scrape the pithy part off the inside of the skin and eat that. If you can wash the banana real good, you might even want to eat the skin, because most fruits, a lot of the nutrition is in the pithy part between the skin and the meat of it. Now, now here's a potassium pill. There's another one. You'll see this one says 99 milligrams, and this one says 99 milligrams. But if you look on the back, it'll say something else in some of them. It'll say, I don't know if I can show this on here. It'll say 595 mg of potassium gluconate, which means, I guess it means you have to take that much that is in the pill of that combination of ingredients, and you need it that way to get potassium into your body. This is a different form of potassium, another different company. You see potassium gluconate, stearic acid, and magnesium stearate. Now, I don't know if magnesium stearate is a good form of magnesium or not, but and of course some people will tell you all about how food doesn't have good nutrients in it any longer, so now you need pills. And there's some truth to that. There are certain times when you just should use a pill, but you got to be very, very careful who made the pill, how, why, and you got to be careful. Now, this is from a local store in the New York area, which has many things in it that are good. I had a bad experience with vitamin C after 40 years or about 15, 20 years of them selling a wonderful vitamin C that was very effective as an antibiotic. Their provider of that pill from the U.S. went broke and out of business, and they had to get a different supplier. They got a Chinese supplier. And then when I tried to use it after that, recently, last 5-6 years, when I had a real need for an antibiotic, it didn't work. I thought there was something wrong with me, or I'd learned something wrong, but it turns out that it was made differently, less good, and you really, really got to be very careful about anything that comes from China. And see, this is produced by Walmart stores, and nothing against Walmart. They might be the best company in the world or the worst, but I can tell you this. I'll tell you this about vitamins in general. If I would have a degree in anything, it'd probably be vitamins, because I know more about vitamins than those persons who are alive or dead. I don't know it because I'm more important they are or better, but I read, looked, and thought. And I've pretty good idea about vitamins, and I will go into that another time. But here are many sources of here's another thing, power minerals. This is a liquid. You see the plus K. Now the letter K is used to stand for potassium, and this is one of many liquid versions, and people who seem to know a lot about nutrition will suggest you get a liquid version of it. And there are many companies that make them. This company, when it makes things well, it makes the best things that it makes. But some of the things it makes aren't that good. And what it really does, this is, now here you go. calorie. This is has calories, not very many, and it has sugar, just a little bit, and it has vitamin C as ascorbic acid, and that's good, and then it has potassium as potassium phosphate. So now you see that phosphate, that makes the potassium much more usable by the body than other forms of potassium. But now you see proprietary blend, trace mineral blend, bee pollen extract, camille leaf extract, sarsaparilla root extract, dandelion root extract, red clover blossom extract, licorice root extract, rosehip extract, thyme leaf extract, gentian root extract, psalm palmetto berry extract, orange peel extract, passion flower extract, alfalfa extract, celery seed extract. Those are all good sources of all sorts of minerals, all those plants that are there. And you see on the bottom, ingredients: purified water, fructose, which is a type of sugar, citric acid, which is not vitamin C, natural flavors, elderberry extract, cranberry extract, potassium sorbate, sodium hexametophosphate, and sodium benzoate. The sodium benzoate is a preservative put in a lot of things. And the truth is, there's another, this lady here, she's wonderful. She's passed away, Maureene Kennedy Salaman. If you want to get, she doesn't, everything in her books aren't correct, but if you want one of the best sources of good information on health and nutrition, you get all of her books and read them. Read them like novels, and read them for what they say and read them for what they mean, and try to read between the lines. She also wrote a book. Her name is Maureene Kennedy Salaman. She also wrote a book called Nutrition, the Cancer Answer. When this girl was 16 years old, many, many years ago, not too many, she was the editor already of a health magazine in the United States. So she knows something about this subject. And now here, parsley and basil and thyme and rosemary and oregano and fennel powder are all great sources of potassium and many other minerals. The problem with the banana is, see, in order for your food to be healthy, it has to be nutrient dense and calorie low, and then for it to be more helpful, you have to make sure you're able to get the digest it and break it down and get the nutrients out of it and have them get into your bloodstream. Then you got to make sure they're nutrients that when they get to the cells, that the cell can actually use them. And there are sometimes cases where it doesn't happen. I put pineapple there because pineapple isn't a bad source of potassium. And every time you eat any meal, you should try to include at least one piece of pineapple, not a whole cup, but 1 or 2 or 3 pieces of pineapple. I have this Raisin Bran here, and I'm sorry, but Raisin Bran, because of the raisins, it's a good source of potassium, but it has a lot of sugar in it. There's a great source of potassium: pomegranates, acorn squash. Squash is a good source. Beans are a good source. There's other ones, I'm trying to think of them, but you can look that up on the internet. We'll have one that'll just say that. But now I'll tell you, if you have want to be well, eat at least a teaspoon or 2 of each of these things a day, and then look into it. Make sure that, in case I am wrong, because I can be wrong, I'm telling you what I understand. You could get too much of something, and this is very important. The basis of health in the United States, the lack of health. No, look, in the biology book in 9th grade, you were taught something if you paid attention. Your body needs 47 units of potassium for every 2 units of sodium. If you have 200 micrograms of sodium in your diet today, you need 4,700 micrograms of potassium. And the whole entire American food system gives us the opposite. And more likely you'll get 4,700 units of sodium and 200 units of potassium. And if you eat that way for a long time, you'll be guaranteed to end up with high blood pressure and diabetes and be overweight And then you will end up, eventually, if you don't die, if you don't have other complications, you'll lose your limbs, you'll go blind, you will end up in dialysis, all because for your whole lifetime you didn't take heed of what you were taught in the 9th grade biology, which is keep those in balance. There's something in the body called the potassium sodium pump. It's in the cell wall of every cell in your body, and it tries to maintain a proper balance of sodium and potassium on each side of the cell wall. And if you don't have the balance, if the numbers I'm giving you are from the internet, I read it in 9th grade book, I don't remember, but I'm using the recent numbers, which may be the same or different. But if you don't have that balance in you, all day long, every cell in your body is going to be doing something. I don't know if it's muscular, but it's energy consuming, trying to get this balance on each side of the cell wall. And eventually that causes all kinds of stress. If you want to be healthy, have a strong immune system, eat lots of green, leafy vegetables, any kind of brightly colored leafy vegetables, cabbages and broccolis and cauliflowers and Brussels sprouts. Be sure you cook them a little bit. Learn about oxalic acid, which you can get too much of if you eat it raw. And it's not that simple, but it's not that complicated. Fennel is a great source of fennel powder of the seeds ground is good. Fennel is a type of celery. You see it in the store, but it's a sweet. It has a sweet taste to it, like licorice. And it was one of the first candies in the world, because if you ate anything else and you ate a piece of celery, and anise and fennel are related. Anise and ingredients in fennel are digestive, help digest food, as well as bromelain that's in pineapple. So we're going to go on, and please look at all our sites and join us.